content animation in Compose, like something very easy, probably just adding preview in the bundle project so we can play around with things. And then once we have understood how to do the basic side of it, then we're going to be looking at more advanced examples that you can also find the source code for in the various Compose examples that folks at Google have prepared. And I think there's one more thing that we're missing, which is the event thing.
Yes, Ivan is doing so many things at the moment.
Sorry,
the event thing. So no, because I'm also I wrote it in the chat. I have no internet at home, so every time I try to trigger, the Google Assistant is yelling at me because she doesn't have internet, and I need to turn on my lights by hand, like a fucking animal. Like, oh, you go there and you press the switch, and I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like whatever. So I'm a bit pissed off. And I actually asked the company. They were like, yeah, sure. There is no internet in your area, like whatsoever. That's it. It's just everything is down. I was like, cool. I mean, we have a rover on Mars, but yeah, whatever you say, man. We just took pictures of half of the universe. You know, we go, why do we even care, right? I know. Let's stay. So just to get me out of my own rant, thank you for supporting us. You can pick one of the different way of supporting us. You can support us for free. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can connect your Prime gaming account to your Twitch account, and you can subscribe for free to a Twitch channel every month. So you can subscribe to our channel for free, and we get a couple of bucks, and then we're gonna put everything into stickers. So if you follow our stream, you know that you can win our Angry Pizza sticker on every episode. Look at these babies. And you can also get, if you are a subscriber, our giveaway, you can also get the Holo sticker. And you can't actually buy this on the store. So you can only win it through the giveaway if you are a subscriber. So any kind of subscription or kind of support works. So if you pick the Amazon Prime, if you pick the YouTube membership or the coffee subscription, whatever will allow you to join the giveaway for the also the guys. I checked the tab, and he was streaming. I was like, are we live? Why? What the hell is going on? And then he was like moving the. So, no, that's not possible. What the fuck? Oh man, yeah.
I have no clue what the fuck is going on, folks. But it's fine. Good thing we have everything planned perfectly.
Yeah. But your audio is still broken.
My audio is still broken. Of course it is, because I rebooted the computer.
No, it's a very, very deep. So yeah, I mean, you can go with that. It's
ASMR version,
sampling, whatever.
Should be fine.
No?
I hear you.
Nothing. We can't hear you. Okay. Are you gonna stream from the Pixel?
Of course you can hear me.
Oh no, that's okay. Now it's good. Okay. Now it's good.
Now you can hear me, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously when you change the sampling rate, Skype kind of goes crazy. Anyway, what we were saying before, Ivan. So you called this. You said this was gonna be an episode where I have to edit the stream. I fucking hate you, man.
No, I mean, that was not my intention. Anyway, just to go back very quickly to wrap up and start animating shit. If you animations, if you want to support the stream, and we also want to play with us in our never-ending trolling of Uncle Bezos, we are running Primo Day. So basically, we are giving away stickers on our store. So if you buy a t-shirt, you get stickers for free. So check out our store, and there is the Uncle Bezos coupon discount code that you can use at checkout. And yes, so just use the coupon, and you're gonna get stickers for free. So any T-shirt is gonna do. Just pick whatever you like for the summer. And thank you for your support, Sebastiano. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so let's try and share the screen. I need to redisplay my screen. Here's my screen. Hello, screen. Okay, so where are we gonna get started from? I think I'm gonna make up something on the spot because obviously we are not improvising this.
I don't see your screen.
You don't
Just
see me.
to
Oh yeah,
press
I need.
out.
Sorry. I need to share it on Skype.
Please don't crash Skype because he's gonna blame me now.
I mean, if it crashes, it's probably your fault.
Yeah, of course, right.
I mean, when Skype crashes, it's your fault. When everything else crashes, it's my fault. That's the split we have.
I'll take it.
What's with the light theme? I think it was because I did some screenshots, but I can fix it. 5, 2, there you go. Better?
Nice.
Hugo, no more ads.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a necessary evil.
We are going to be creating a fancy box, which is a box that is fancy, as the name suggests. And we want to have a preview because I don't want to put it in the app. That's too much effort. I don't like effort. So what we are going to do is we're going to call this, I don't know, fancy preview. Why not? And obviously something is broken because, oh yeah, because in this file I haven't completed writing things. Thank you, KSP. Thank you, very useful. Then I'm gonna put the theme because yes, and then I'm gonna do fancy box, and that's gonna work theoretically. He said famous last wordingly. So the idea is that we're gonna do something that looks maybe like a card. Oh, maybe we can even do a card. So if you've ever seen items like a list where you have items and those items can expand or contract when you tap a part of that item, I think that's the basic idea we're gonna go with now. I'm not gonna make it too fancy because this is just to get to the basic point, and we've lost a lot of time due to overheating of things. What is your problem now? That's what?
Are you importing some?
I have not
from
touched the code since the last time we wrote anything here, and I don't even remember what it was.
So what is it like? This works on my last episode.
Yeah, it worked in the last episode.
Works on my machine. It's the new works on my machine. Okay.
No, the problem is it's taking what? What the fuck?
Remove the import is red.
This is the Baffanculo.
Oh, man.
It's been a while.
Tooling is hard.
It's been a while since we've randomly broken things.
We don't code anymore. I blame it on Mark. I mean, he was with us like for what, like 3 episodes?
You are watching a master
now you can't code anymore. I blame it on Mark Ellison. I don't know, but that's my position at the moment.
Must be the person that's not around to defend themselves. That's for sure.
So
no, I think the chat. He can defend himself very, very well.
So Mark asked to name a function CPU overheat. So we're gonna have to do that, I guess.
Yes, pretty much.
Fine. Okay.
Sebastiano. Where are we?
I'm trying to see if it builds, but in the meantime, we can start creating a card here. The idea is that we want to use this one, probably. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's building. Yay!
Just as a reference, Sebastiano, are we using anything special or like some library that we need to add, or is just like the latest Compose?
The only
nightly
yeah.
build.
No, the only dependency we are using is the Material 3 theme, which probably people are using or not, but you can use the Material 2 card. It doesn't make any difference, so it's fine. So yeah, fill max width, and I think that's good enough. And so in here we need some content, I guess, hashtag content. So let's put like text, some random text. Can we generate a lorem ipsum or something? Sure. I'm actually gonna put the explanation there instead. Yep. And now Studio's gonna shout at me. Maybe? No, it isn't, because it's not a resource. Well, okay. Cool. What are you complaining about? Yes, opt into everything. I don't care. Okay, so the idea is that we want to have a card that has this text inside. Now let's see if it renders the preview. Anytime now. Aha! Okay, so I need to make it fit. Perfect. Okay, obviously this looks like shit because there's no padding of any kind, but... Oh, Spike!
It's a bit... it's a new perspective on Spike.
It's the handheld Spike cam.
Yeah, it's the steady Spike. It's
it's live edit. Why is it so slow? Ah. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. So
padding is on the outside.
Huh?
Your padding is on the outside of the whole card instead of the inside text.
That's correct. Okay. I should have put like a column here, and then put the padding on that one. Modifier dot padding, and then I want to import this. Yes, that one. Sorry, microphone, you're in the way. Okay, so now it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, I guess. I'm gonna put some padding on the outside as well, just in case, because I like paddings. It's all about white space. Okay, so it will eventually update with that. So now the idea is that we want to make it expand whenever there's like whenever you tap it, maybe. I don't know. In a real world scenario, you might have that is either the whole card that expands when you tap it. Maybe you have a button that shows more stuff. Maybe you know like a carrot that turns around when you tap it to show that it's expanded. But in this case, it doesn't matter. So what we are going to do is, well, first of all, we're going to add the other text here, which is going to be something like something stupid. What stupid thing should we put in here?
Buy the stickers. Subscribe.
Yeah.
YOLO.
The text you definitely want to hide.
I also want to put some space between the two, so vertical arrangement dot spaced by 16, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, So now, obviously, what we have here is that all the content is visible all at the same time. And we wanted to expand and collapse. So the way we can do that, because Compose is Compose, the way you make something appear or disappear is you wrap it around with an if. And then what you do is you say expanded, and then we can define our var expanded equals true. Now, before people start screaming, I know that's not correct. It's fine. Wait a second. So now obviously this is a variable and it's always true. So we always show our stuff. So what if we want to change it? Well, obviously we need to turn this into a state so that when recomposing, Compose remembers this. So by remember, mutable. I want mustable state of. I don't know what it does, but it sounds cool. Mutable state of false, because we start with false. Import. Import. Thank you. I have to import 3 times. Okay, so now we have our state. Now we need to change it. So as we said, we're going to be lazy. So the way we do it is just add a clickable modifier. So we do it on the whole card because, again, it's just an example. And then we do expanded equals not expanded. So this way, whenever you click the card, it will change the value of expanded. And we can actually test it once this is done by using the interactive preview. Okay. So now I can click it. Well, eventually. Yay! There it is. But this is not animated. So this is where animations start coming in. So maybe, Rebecca, do you want to do a bit of an introduction on how we're going to make it?
Sure. There's a couple of ways you can do this one specifically. I'm not sure which way you're going with, but the easy way for this one.
Only one way to find out.
What will you do next is to use a thing called AnimatedContent size in this particular instance, which is a modifier that you can add onto your card. So that will basically, whenever your size changes of your content, it'll animate it. It should animate it at least. Yeah. You can try that one. Let's see if that one works. But basically, you can do that. But I think what we are looking at in this episode is animated content, which is, yeah, so that one also works.
It's very slow to open and very quick to come back.
Yeah, you can. I think you can customize it as well.
Yeah,
there's probably some
I could.
options in there.
I could.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's also animated content. So animated content is basically like similar to if you've used animated visibility, where you create it's a composable that you add to your hierarchy or your tree, whatever we call it, and it can provide better like transitions between different types of content. So if you have one of my examples that I've used in the samples is like different questions in a survey screen, and going between those different screens, you can animate the change between different composables. So if you're changing the content underneath and you want the transition between them to be a different kind of animation rather than just like completely replacing what you're seeing on screen, you can use animated content to do that. So it provides the default provides like just a fade in and I think a scale as well. That's the default function of it. But there's a bunch of customization that you can do on top of it, which I think we'll get into in a bit. But Sebastiano is going to use it in this scenario, I think, as well, instead of animated content size. Yeah.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep the text inside of a lambda because, of course, it's going to be a composable. And we're going to use the animated content. I think it would also be cool to compare it with animated visibility. But if we have time, we can.
Animated visibility is the one that I use usually. I mean, it's the baby animation composable that I can use. I feel comfortable using because animated content. I mean, I need to do like a state, and I'm already like, okay, what do I put here, right? So
yeah.
I mean,
so your state is where you're going to.
For comparing them.
I mean, a nice example is if you look at like a when state. If you have like a when statement and you're switching composables in a when, you can then pass that state as like your target state, and then inside your animated content, look at that state as like a when where you're going between the different composables. And that just gives you like, I kind of think of it as soon as I see a when in my code, I can probably animate it using animated content. Animated visibility is probably better for when you're just doing like one, like if Boolean, like this true or false is going to be shown on screen. But the content is like you're switching between different types of content on screen.
So in this case, it might actually make sense. Like it works in either case. You can use both the animated visibility and animated content. I think it would probably actually look the same at the end, but maybe we can try later. So yeah, I essentially replaced the if with animated content. Now I have a very quick animation that you can barely see, but it is animating.
Yes. So we can customize it there if you want to.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different parameters that you can customize on animated content. So the first one that probably we want to like change the duration of how long it takes is the transition spec. So that basically describes how you want to transition the items. And this, is a lambda. So it's a little bit more to think about when you want to do it. But basically with this, you need to provide like how you wanted to enter and exit, how you wanted to enter and exit on the screen. So I think if I remember correctly, you can say things like fade in plus fade in, and then a plus fade out.
Yep.
I think what is it complaining about?
It wants something else.
I think it's not like a width. Let me double check the.
Probably width.
Oh, it's width, yeah. So the plus is for when it's on the same, like the enter transition. If you want to like combine those two together.
Translate, for example.
Yeah. So fade in with fade out. So that's the enter, and then the exit is the fade out. But if you wanted to like combine a few, you can then do the fade in plus slide into container, or slide in vertically, or expand in. There's a bunch of them that you can use. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember what the difference is. So
a slide out of container is basically a nice wrapper on top of like slide in vertically and slide out vertically. Okay. It's a bit better because it's you provide it with a direction, and you don't need to like do different calculations for how it's going to offset on screen. So it'll figure out based on the size of your content, like the direction and how it needs to go up and down out of your screen.
Okay, so I can replace this with slide in container.
Into container, yeah.
And this is up, so would come in from the bottom.
It might be inverted from what you think, but let's try it. I remember it was like my mind had to do a shift with what it was.
Okay, it seems to always do the same thing, but at least it's animating.
Slide into container, fade in, fade out. Interesting.
Does it need like, I don't, like the precedence should be fine.
No, I think that should be fine. Both of them I think need to be the same direction, if I remember correctly. If you try slide direction down on both. See if it does something.
Okay. Let's see when it's done rendering.
I think this
done.
example is, this example is maybe not the best use of animated content entirely.
Yeah.
Because this one is probably just like an animated visibility, like remove, get out of my way, get in.
Okay, so instead of
thing.
that, I guess, okay, let's make a better example where we have like text 1 and text 2 maybe. Okay, that would make more sense.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
So let's say target state expanded, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so
you can have like an enum state, say,
yeah.
Enum, I don't know what you want to represent, like
CTA,
like,
it's just a call to action. Buy merch.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
also like the video did.
Yeah, but then that becomes too complicated for a simple example. Let's keep it to 2 for now. We can do like and subscribe in this string that we show. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was getting buy-in from marketing, which is even.
Yeah, I know. I'm also actually looking at the support on Zendesk, and we have one annoying customer that is still claiming that they want a named function. So, I mean, these people.
Okay, so what we need to do...
So now in your animated content, like in that Lambda, you're going to want to use that state that's come through. So you're going to, So I think one of the questions that we got was around why is it important to use this state that gets returned inside your animated content Lambda. And it's because that's what it actually uses to render the state on screen. So as it's like transitioning your items in and out, it's going to be rendering like a lot more of your composables at once. So if you're using the state that you're tracking, it could show the same thing for both items. So if you have call to state buy merch and you transition to the other one, which is subscribe, and if you use that call to action text, it'll show both the text saying subscribe instead of the one saying buy merch and the other one saying subscribe. So it just needs it to track.
We've turned this into a continuous buy a merch and subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, it's subtle. It's subtle.
Very subtle. Very, very subtle.
Subtle, but it's there. Subtle, but it's there.
Yeah.
By the way, we still owe a function to Mark, so we're going to extract this as a function. CPU overheat. Okay, this is not a composable. Okay, this just inverts the status, the state. So, okay.
I think it's maybe worth showing without the slide into container, just with the fade in and out at the moment, and then change like the duration so that you can see like it quite slowly.
Yep.
Yeah, so on these animation specs, you can, on these fade in and out, you can specify like your animation specs like you have been doing for other animations. So if you wanted to, go slower or go faster, you can set that.
So here you would have, wait, no, it's just a tween,
you
right?
Just set, yeah.
And let's say 500. And then we can do the same.
Slower.
Even slower?
Yeah,
1,000. 500. 500 needs to be there. It's a requirement.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Rendering. Okay. Yay.
So it's not the best animation at this point.
Yeah.
But it is showing the difference between like now you are doing the fade in and the fade out between the two, but we could also do the slides if we wanted to now.
It's also kind of weird because when you go from the longer to the shorter one, the second part of the longer one disappears while it's fading. So we have work to do.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's like the size.
Could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, could it be because like the container has a different width?
I guess because the content has a different. So these two are taking whatever size they need. So an easy fix would be to just put modifier fix max fill max width. That would make it work. Alternatively, I think we can do expand and contract. We can add that. So maybe we can do
try that.
Expand horizontally and contract.
I think it's shrink.
That's not the opposite in my head. Okay. Let's see if this is better. Also, probably need to pass the spec there as well. So I'm just gonna extract it as a variable because that's gonna make it more readable. And then, okay. Why don't you like that? Finite animation. Oh, it's an int size. Okay. We're gonna call this spec 2. The revenge of the types.
Wow. Wow.
Still doesn't like it.
Hashtag maintainability.
Oh, int size. Sure. Ta-da!
Is it like a type? What's int size?
It's a size expressed as int.
I'm just gonna pop in a car, just drive to your house. I'm serious. Is it like something that comes from Compose, from Kotlin, from Android? What is
Compose.
that? Is it the Compose thing?
Yeah.
Two-dimensional size class used for measuring in int pixels. Okay.
There's
it's
also
for the size of the container, basically. So it needs to use a two-dimensional item.
There's int size. There's DP size. I don't think there's float size, is there? No, there isn't. So there's int size and DP size, essentially.
Int size, okay. Sounds like something internal that you wouldn't use yourself, like often.
I mean, why? It's like knowing the size of stuff is something that you probably need to do.
Yeah, but I'm not like, oh, let's create a new insights object. It's not that kind of. I'm not my usual type that I will use probably. So sounds very specific.
Yes. Okay, so now the animation actually does something. So it moves everything to the side.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally what we wanted to do. Works for me. Ship it.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of the examples on the docs is to like have I think it's like an animating counter of different values like going in and out. And that's like a different example from this, which maybe makes a bit more sense in this regard. But yeah, I think your initial example of like animating the hiding and showing, I would probably not choose animated content for that. I would rather choose like animated visibility or animate content size, which is that little helper on the modifiers. But yeah, this is the basic of it, I guess.
Yeah, look at that. So beautiful. I mean, again, we can fix it by just doing this. Now it worked. What the fuck did I run? Okay, I don't know. I wanted to format and I pressed the wrong shortcut. Usual things. Come on. Okay. Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's not what I wanted, but I will take it.
Well, that actually looks nice.
It's
Nice.
weird.
This looks legit. I mean, on Skype over the stream, it doesn't look bad.
I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just weird.
I mean,
this is gonna fix like using only the fade in and fade out with the fill max width is gonna avoid the clipping that you get at some point. So I just wanted to show that. Yay, look at that. Beautiful.
Yay.
Okay.
But now it's not sliding anymore. I mean, you broke it.
No, I didn't. There you go. It's
Okay.
back. Are you happy?
Yeah, but I mean, people are loving it in the chat. It's not me. It's the people.
Yes,
I
it's
mean,
the people. It's the
people are
oldest
loving
excuse in the book.
Oh man, I mean, you are doing this for the customers, or doing it because you're like a selfish. No. You're doing it for them. Looks good. I love it.
As Hugo is saying, if it looks good to developers, ship it.
Sebastiano
Yeah,
broke it.
sure, definitely.
Sounds good.
So I want to start picking some question from the
Yeah,
slide
go for it.
if you don't mind, because we are saying ship it, and the most voted question by Stylianos, he asked, our team is small. Huh? Are you okay? Oh, damn it.
What happened?
I mean, yeah, no. So,
What happens is that Hugo just redeemed El Ivano. So even now I have to say it in Spanish.
Goodness.
Estoy aprendiendo español para cuatro meses hoy y yo quiero español mucho. Vámonos a la pregunta
A la playa.
de Stylianos. A la pregunta de Stylianos. So, él quiere, whatever. Our team. No. Give me a break because the question has to be answered appropriately. So, our team is small with just one designer. All design is static Figma files. How does one bring animation into a culture like this? What worked at GoDaddy?
Cool. Good question. I'm glad you switched to English. That was
Well, no,
I
mean, it's fun. It's fun, but Spanish. My Spanish is rough. But the question, I actually like the question because I found myself in a lot of those scenarios where there is one designer and you're basically doing the iOS app on Android, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's a good question. I mean, from my experience, I was quite lucky at GoDaddy. We had designers who were really like passionate about making designs with animation. So it kind of like stemmed from that, and they were a little bit like harsh and like, oh, please, can you add this kind of animation? Or like, I really want, like, this is nice, but like, where's the sparkle? So there was that kind of drive from the design team, which was really nice. But after a while, I also started to like think as I'm playing around with something, I'm like, oh, wait, this would actually be cool if I could just animate this in this way. And I think that could actually be a good way to kind of start if you're not getting that design from your designers, because it might be hard with just one. You could just start thinking like, what would, like, look at a screen and like, what could move on this screen that I can easily achieve without like spending a lot of effort on, and then try and do it and then show it to the designer and see what they say. a lot of the time I found they were like, oh, that's cool. Can we tweak this? And then they give you like a little bit more of a spec, or like, they want it to go on for longer, or they think it should be a springy animation or something like that. So I would advise just play around. And if you have the time, which hopefully should be a bit easier now when you use Compose, then you can try and do these small little like animations as you see fit. But it's not the easiest thing, and it definitely is really nice if you do have designs coming from designers.
Next question, Ivan. I think we lost Ivan. The famous broken internet has hit again. Okay, so I am going to get to the next question, which is from Prima, while Ivan reconnects. Today is one of those days. How do I change an animation duration while it's running? For example, solar system planets rotate, but when I tap the screen, I want them to slow down.
I've actually got a code sample on this. If you want, I can share my screen and we can go through this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just share my screen quickly. Can you see my screen? Can you see yourself? Yeah. Everything good?
Let me double check. Should be fine. Yes, it is.
Cool. So I have a little sample app, and it is got a bunch of different animations. So the one for like infinitely repeating and like having planets that you want to change the duration as it goes. So basically what I've got for this example is just a canvas. So it is drawing, I don't know if you could, maybe I should zoom in a bit on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, better.
So we've got a canvas, and it is drawing a circle, which is this black little circle at the end, so you can see where it's starting, and then a rectangle that's also being drawn at the same time. And the rotation is being animated over time. So this is an infinite like repeating animation. And how this one was achieved specifically was to use the animatable class interface. So we initially set it to 0, and then we're using a launched effect. I animate this value from 0 to 360, which is the rotation, using an infinitely repeatable animation spec on that item. So in order to change this, so like the question was like, you want to tap on the item and then slow it down when it's tapped. So in order to change that, what I've done is on click of the canvas is to change the animation from what it was. I'll just change it back about that animation spec. So just basically restart the animation from where it is to 360 degrees. So this will then change the time. So we've now got a duration variable that will change the time. And you can see here, when I click, I add or double the time that it is using to draw the rotation. But all I'm using is this animatable.animate2 method. And this takes in the target value that we want to go to. So initially, if you see, we were going from 0 as the start of our animation to 360. And in order to slow it down, we had an initial duration. But if we want to change this duration, I on the click of it, set a new animation to start. So passing in the infinite repeatable with a new duration over here. So you might be thinking, why is she adding the initial value as well? Maybe, I don't know if you're thinking that, but basically this target value, when you say .animate2, it takes what it's currently animating on. So if it is at like 180 degrees, it'll start the repeating animation from 180 to whatever you've got set there. So if I just had it at 360, it would go 180 to 360. It would
just jump, right?
Yeah, it would just like go between those two values, like 180 to 360, 180 to 360. So I'll show you that demo. Oh, now it's quite slow, but yeah, you can see now it doesn't like fully turn anymore. So the animate2 method basically, because it's like interruptible, it'll take what the current value is that you're on. So as I clicked, it was on a certain degree, but now it's going to animate from that to 360 all the time, back and forth, back and forth. So in order to get it to go like around again, we can just do the current value plus 360 degrees. So then it will keep repeating that cycle. And so you can't just change the duration over here with this, this mutable state and update a new launched effect thing. You have to basically restart and like do a whole new animation with it. And then we have a slowing down animation.
Got it. I guess it's not entirely related to this, but and it's a different topic, but I'm always like here you're making sure that you're doing the animation from the current state to the current state plus a full circle. So you're kind of like, I don't know, conserving the state, like passing the current state to the new animation. If you wanted to like animate towards a different point, but keeping the same initial velocity, is that something that you can do? Or like, I mean, I know you can do it, but how? I'm not sure.
If you wanted to animate what? The point?
Yeah, assume...
I'm not sure I followed.
Assume an example would be where you have you tap somewhere and a box goes to that point. So while it's going, you can tap somewhere else, and will it like keeping momentum and going to the new endpoint?
So that would probably be like using something else, because you wouldn't really use the infinite repeatable spec, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if that's what you're saying. That would be more one of our samples. I think we've got a sample on like gestures where you like tap and then it moves things around. But definitely it does. Well, that's one of the nice things about these compose animations is it does handle these interruptions nicely for you. So it like speeds up or slows down if you're busy doing an animation in progress. So even with this one, you'll see it's like it is continuous. It doesn't restart from like zero. It like takes where it was and carries on. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But I also realized that my question was more of a personal curiosity. It's mildly related to what we were talking about. So,
cool.
There's a related question to talking about infinity. Like I guess they mean infinite repeatable animations, which is how do you change running infinity animation? They say, or stop it so that another one can start where the old one left with a slight modification. I guess that's what you were showing right now. So 2 questions for the price of one.
Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah, it's the same thing. So you have to change the animate to spec doesn't support like changing infinite repeatable like as a value in time. You know what I mean? Like we're passing like angle animation into our rotation over here, and this is changing and we like observing and rotating, and it's automatically getting updates and running through that. Whereas if you try and just change this infinite repeatable as a different like state that you're passing in, it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. So you need to basically like either say like snap to the certain value, or like use animate to again, call it again with a different spec.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so even if you want to mark those 2 questions as answered, unless the 5G is full, yeah, looks like it's gone again. Oh well. So wait. If you want me not to show your screen, just say that.
Yeah, I just wanted to see you. But now it's infinitely repeating you, right?
No, I fixed that. It's fine. So we have another question, which is why should we only use the state provided inside the lambda of animated content? Why can't we use the state we are providing to its parameters directly inside?
Yeah, I can show an example of that as well.
Yep.
Of exactly why it doesn't work the way. Where did my emulator go? Are they? Cool. So this is the Jet survey example. So this is the one that has the animated content from the blog post. That's like kind of the driving force of this whole stream. So basically with this one, it is a survey with different questions and they move in and out. So they slide as you go through like a survey type question. So the example here, let me just check. Okay, so this is when I go sign in as guest. Okay, so we've got our questions that appear and as you go through, it slides to the next question. So you can see our questions are changing and the state of it kind of making sense as we go back and forth between the two. So one of the things with animated content is you provide it in this question state. Zoom in a little bit. So this question state that you provide is like our normal mutable state that we're used to. And we provide this into animated content. And animated content knows and decides with using its transition spec that you give it, how it's going to use that to transition between the different composables that you have on screen. So if we were to just use this same state that we're keeping track of, what will happen is it'll automatically, it'll transition to that new state without it needing to, if that makes sense. So like old content, like you'll see in this example, if I change to using just, I don't use target state here anymore. I use question state, I think it was. If I change to using question state for all of these questions that show on screen, you'll see that as you click next, it shows, it like replaces both the composable's content with the next state. So you'll see like the next questions are still shown, but the next question, like it's duplicating both of them because it's got the same state for both of them. So yeah, you can see dance. And I don't know if you noticed, but like there is a weird animation between these two. It's showing the same content as you transition. So it's got the end state. Maybe if I delay it a bit more, it might be a bit more 1.5. It's got already that end state that you've already transitioned to. So question state is already updated to the next state of the next question in the screen. But animated content needs the previous state in order to like properly look up what it needs to show for that previous composable. So without doing that, you get this transition that's already transitioned that previous composable to the next state, but we don't want that. We want, we want the next state to be representative of the next question that's shown on screen. So the transition will just look really strange and it won't be exactly what you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, essentially,
cool.
It's just because if you always use the final state, then you're rendering both the previous and the new one. Well, you're composing both the previous and the next one with the same state, which is the destination, which is changing immediately, whereas target state is used by animated content to get, okay, this is what we're going from, and then I'm going to change it and get what we're going to, and then I'm going to do the animation.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Cool.
It's actually a better mental model than what I had, which was like, always use the target state you're past and don't argue.
Yeah, well, that was me. I was like, okay, I think I know why. And then I was like, let me try it. Okay, actually, that does make sense now. When you can see it visually, what it does when it's got the wrong state, then it helps.
There's also someone asking about performance best practices for animated content. If there's anything specific, I guess, that we need to take into consideration.
I don't think there is anything specific. There is like a lot of performance guides on actual just normal animation stuff, like trying to use Lambda versions of modifiers if you're animating like things like which was alpha, background color, that kind of thing. So that is like more specific for just like modifier kind of animations, but for animated content, not really. It's not, I wouldn't especially envision this being used in like a massive like loop of some sorts, which is generally, or like a lot of them being shown on screen. But yeah, I think if it was the case, then I would say there would probably be more performance guidance. But right now, it's just like your animated content is mostly just like big transitions of things on screen.
I was trying to see if there's anything on DAX specifically that we can link people to.
Yeah, so we have on DAC, we have the performance. Where is it now? There is a whole new performance guide.
And they moved
it. Talks
it.
about, yeah, I think it's moved a bit further up.
I was looking for it at the bottom as well. I was like, where is it?
So yeah, so on DAC you can see, I think, yeah, one of them is like defer reads as long as possible. And this talks about like when you are animating things, and one of the examples is like scroll state. When you are animating things, it's preferred to use the Lambda version of your modifiers instead of this version of your modifiers, just because that moves it into, I think, the draw phase, if I'm correct. So it doesn't have to like recompose all the time. So I think here's an example of color. Yeah, so the color one, animating a background color. So this is one of the examples where if you're animating between the two colors, but a more performant way is to pass it with this draw behind method, because this one will only use it in the draw phase. So there's a couple of these examples specifically just for like modifiers. Animated content, we don't have anything specific yet. We haven't seen, it's quite a relatively new and experimental API. So it is still experimental. So we are still, there might still be some changes coming to that API. So we're looking for feedback on it. So if you have any feedback or you use it and there's something missing, it would be nice to know that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have, we have one more question, which is how to create custom path or shape in Compose. For example, if I create a custom shape in Figma, how do I convert that to a Compose shape to use inside of, for example, a surface composable?
Yeah, that one is quite interesting. So normally what I've been doing is just exporting from Figma an SVG and then importing into Android Studio using the sort of image import tool. I don't know if everyone's seen that, but basically the image assets and then passing in this SVG. Oh no, not this one, vector asset. Never know. Okay, vector asset. Yeah, so just passing in the SVG and getting this this drawable that you can then use and you load it up as per normal. But this question, I think, is particularly like trying to get like a canvas path directly that Figma has. So there isn't a very easy way to do this, but you can always do it yourself. So you can have a look. There's something, I've got it open, I think. Yeah, so if you have a look at the Android source, because we all love diving into the source code, there is a class called path parser. And basically with any kind of SVG or vector that you make, it has this path information. And I think it's probably been covered in one of your previous streams. But basically that path info has like information of like start at this point, move to this point. It's a string, like a really long string that's kind of hard to compute as a normal human. But it basically has a bunch of commands to create this path. So this path parser isn't, I don't know if it's a public class or if it's hidden, but you can basically look at the implementation of this, and this generates a path from, and this is how it's done, like sort of internally on Android or in the library. So you could use this if you wanted to kind of generate your own path through this from a Figma asset. But if you wanted to just get like a straight path, like having like a vector dot give me the path method, unfortunately that doesn't exist yet. But if you wanted, you could log a bug.
Yeah, a good old feature request.
Yes.
I think we have answered all the Slido questions. If you folks have any other questions that you want to ask, maybe I'm gonna put the link again in the chat, so you can ask them there. We have about another 10-15 minutes, so if you have anything specific that you feel we haven't covered that you want to ask Rebecca, then this is your moment. In the meantime, Rebecca, is there anything? Oh yeah, obviously Hugo is asking about lazy list removal animations.
I believe that is still work in progress, but there is item placements, animate item placements for reordering of items, but add and remove is still in progress.
Yeah, it seems to be because, well, yeah, I've dealt with a similar problem trying to implement a lazy layout. The very complicated thing is figuring out the content that is not there yet, so it's not being necessarily composed yet, or like adding is one, but removing as well might cause some items to come in that don't exist. So you need to pre-compose those elements and then move them in, and yeah, it's not easy. Not easy at all. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, Rebecca, in the last section?
I guess we could talk about like the size transform portion, because that's another parameter that you can configure on animated content. So animated content works like kind of out of the box without you needing to do much. But if you do want to do some cooler things with it, or like work with different transformations of sizes and animating your size change, there is another example in this crane sample. So basically what you can do is specify how your size will animate, the change of your size. So in this example, I have, as part of the transition spec, you can just specify the size transform. So I give it a different easing function, for instance, or give it a different duration, or if you want to use like a spring animation or something like that. But what the nice part about this is it gives you the initial size and the target size that you can do things with. So if you wanted to do like different movements of it or like different calculations with it, you can get that information. So one cool usage of animated content is a library that I've seen from.
Yes.
Have you seen this one?
I have seen it. Yes, it's very cool.
Yes. So this one from Sakit, I think. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm probably not saying it right. So this example, this is a GitHub library that is using animated content, and it's a really cool usage of animated content. And I think he's using size transform, but basically this transition between these different menus is just animated using animated content. And the size transform is like the animation between these two different like menu sizes. So this is a really cool example of, I think if we can, maybe I had the link of.
I put it in the chat already.
Okay. Cool. I think drop down menu content. Yeah. Well, you can have a look at this, but yeah, you can basically animate the size change as well, which just gives you some nice little dimensions to your animations, which can be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's also, I think they just published another library yesterday, the other day, about like with spans, which is very cool.
Yeah, I saw that one as well with the little animated
the
squiggly lines underneath.
Squiggly lines, yeah.
was cool.
Yes.
There's also another part, the index, not the index, the like Z index that you can specify on a transition. So in the one example, if you like basically stacking things on top of one another, like if you wanted to do like a kind of, I don't know, pancake kind of stack, if you can think of it like that, you can use and specify the Z index of your transition. So this will specify like where it comes in from and where it exits or how it exits. So in the question example, if you wanted to build it like a paper stacking effect instead of just like the slide in, slide out transition, we could provide it with this target content Z index. And that basically says like, where should this go in relation to the one that's currently visible on screen? So I'm using the question index of the questions in the screen. So we have like obviously 1 to 0, 1 to 6, or however many questions there are. And if the target content, the Z index, which is like on top of one another, so that'll then be now saying, okay, question 6 is going to go and place on top of it. And now when question 5 leaves, it's going to leave like underneath it. So you can position things on top of one another as well as part of like your animated content transition. So I think this is the example. Yeah. You can see it animate. Yeah. A little bit harder to see, but you can see like the content coming on top of the other bit of content and removing from the top.
Yeah. So you could technically use this to do something like the classic swipey deck of cards, right? Where you can have the new one coming in from the bottom and the old one going out from the side, which is somewhat similar to what you're doing in the GIF, for what I can tell, although it's a bit fast.
Yeah, a little bit fast.
It's fine.
Needs to be slowed down.
It's all right. So this is just for people that are curious. This is in JetSurvey.
Yeah, so JetServer and Crane have both got animated content changes.
Every time I see Crane, I'm like, wait, that looks a lot like the fly part, especially, like that looks a lot like the Qatar Airways website. Every time it's like, wait, did they do something with Qatar Airways? Oh no, it's just the the thing happens to look
sample app.
Yeah, it just happens to look somewhat like that, because the color scheme specifically, but also the font has some similarities. But I really like how many animations.
I haven't seen that app, so
I haven't used the Qatar Airways app in a while, but the color scheme is the thing that to me is like, oh, Qatar Airways. Don't ask me why. I've flown once with them in my life. Do you need to do anything to do like the effect that we are seeing now? Like, how do you fade out the last element and bring up the card?
Yeah, so this is just animated content, basically. So these individual sections here are wrapped in a when that has the different composable per when item. And that's just wrapped in an animated content with a fade in, fade out for those ones. And then this, the size is changing as it goes. So this is just like animating up because the size is now changed. And I also added another animated content on the actual content inside here.
All right.
And that does like a slide between the different ones.
I don't know if it's the like seeing the GIF from your screen remotely, but it looks like it's doing some weird stuff with the rounded corners at the top of the white section.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it needs to.
Okay,
yeah, it
okay.
needs to be.
Sorry, it's just I saw. I was like, wait, 1 sec. That's unrelated though. It's probably just the background that is rounded, that has rounded corners, and as we have seen in the past.
Yeah, it's moving the whole like content, I think.
Right, but it's it looks like it's also sizing the it's changing the size of the background instead of translating it. Probably. I don't know. It's done.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Spitballing here. Okay, I think, let me check if there's any other questions on Slido. I do not think so. I think we've covered everything. So, well, I would say good timing despite the horrible problems we've had. God.
No.
Anyway.
It's okay. Makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, we can finish a couple of minutes earlier, unless you have anything else you want to cover.
No,
Well,
I think that's. If anyone has any feedback, basically on animated content, if you try it out and use it, please reach out and let us know how it goes.
What is the best place? The issue tracker or?
Issue tracker for any like bugs or things that you were expecting, or if you have any just general feedback, you're welcome to tweet me. Find me on Twitter. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, then thank you very much for the explanation.
Ooh.
What I've learned today is that, well, I've learned two things. One is JavaScript is hard. And the other one,
My JavaScript.
Oh, man.
oh, look at the chat.
You have no idea. I just have congratulations Hugo on the website, and now there is object congratulations on Twitch. I mean, I JavaScript, man, it's just gonna kill me. Anyway, Hugo, I'm gonna just send you some stickers. Congratulations. I mean, why? I mean, it was working. We used it last week. I didn't touch it. I mean, what? I hate it. I hate this shit. Anyway, yes, we are writing sort of service to automate this kind of stuff, Rebecca, and I tried to write it in Kotlin, but eventually I had to surrender to Node.js. So TypeScript is okay, but you still have this kind of weird stuff. So anyway, yeah, I can catch a break. Today is one of those days, man.
Yes.
So
wait, I haven't said the second thing I've learned today. So the second thing I've learned today is that animated content is amazing. You can use it for a lot of different things.
Maybe just not for your expanded.
Yeah, that was an animated visibility thing. I don't even know why I went with that example in the first place. Probably because I didn't prepare. I don't know. It could be. Hey, I was cleaning up the room 5 minutes before we started our call. So the fact that I'm here is already remarkable in my book.
Bravo.
Okay.
We can always try better in another episode, so it's not.
Well, we can try something different. Because I mean, the part that Rebecca did actually was pretty good. It was just the part I did that was kind of fucked up, but that's fine. People are used to it.
Nobody expects.
Yeah,
nobody expects different from you, Sebastiano. So don't beat yourself too much.
Hey. Half of the things that broke today were not my fault.
Yeah.
Just because your internet crashed like 3 times.
Yeah, that's. I want to go because if it crashes now on the saying goodbye, I'm just gonna be so mad. So Rebecca, thank you for bearing with us with this madness.
No worries.
Finally, we waited a long time to schedule this, so it was very, very fun.
We pulled through somehow.
Sebastiano. Yeah, well, I mean, this is what we do. We survive, right?
Yes.
Sebastiano, thank you as usual for your.
I think we need to say one thing, because, of course, in keeping in tradition with the way we do things, yesterday the Primo Day code didn't work for most of the day. It wasn't our fault. I want to underline that it was not our fault, but they managed to fix it in the end. But most of the day was gone, so our Primo Day is actually going to last until tomorrow. So you have some more time to get some T-shirts and a bunch of free stickers, or to get the normal amount of stickers, but for a discount. So there's that. So you can spend a bit less money on Amazon and a bit more to get us to buy a better internet for even.
I mean, really.
I'm
The
gonna
whole
update.
network
I'm
went
going
down.
to.
It's not my.
I am
I
so
have
going to
also
update the
5G.
goal on coffee. It's gonna say buy the internet for even or something.
Can you read? There is like there is 5G. So I also vaccinated. It's not my fault. I tried everything. I
You need
tried
the
everything.
booster, man. Clearly need the booster.
Yeah, the boost. Fourth shot.
Next
Anyway.
time, just convenently go offline for like the whole stream. Just
Yeah.
say hi.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
But
internet.
I tried.
It's just a still picture of the dog. Ciao. Anyway,
Oh, that would be great.
it was a nice episode.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun, and this stuff gives me a lot of hope that I can animate things.
But that's a nice thing,
So-
right? Everyone can do animations in Compose because it's much easier than it used to be. And I guess we're going to be talking about this with our guest, the last guest. So I guess a bit of an announcement. We've mentioned that on Twitter and on our Telegram channel last week. But we are going on a break for August and the first week of September. We will be back after the end of July. We stop for about a month, and then we're back mid September. But we have 2 great episodes still before we go on break, so don't miss. Next week, we are trying to do something that nobody has ever managed to do. So we're going to be having Alex Vagno, which is also a colleague of Rebecca, and he will explain to us how insets work. So maybe...
Wow. Really? I mean, and you dropped this thing like this? Like you didn't tell me anything? Wow. I mean,
maybe we'll finally understand how they work instead of trying them all until one works.
Yeah.
Which is usually my strategy.
My technique is just punch it, uppercut until it works. Okay, looks good. Commit and push. That's it. Nobody touches anything anymore. And
until the end of times.
No. And then just wait that the project ends, right? The contract runs over and that kind of stuff. The
contractor.
Pays, whatever it takes, right?
Contractor
9 out of 10, they shut down, right? They fail. So that's, I'm playing the odds there. I'm just playing the stats.
And then, so that's going to be next week. And then the last week, we're going to have some more animation because why not? We love animations. We're going to have our good friend Doris back with us. So Doris is the other queen of animations in Compose. Rebecca being the other one, obviously, as was mentioned in the chat earlier. And we are going to be talking about the new APIs that are coming in Compose 1.3 because there's a lot of very cool stuff and I'm incredibly excited to understand how it works. I haven't looked at it yet. I have seen things in like videos, so I know it can do funny stuff, but I don't know how it works and I want to find out with you folks live so I can look stupid. That's what I do. Okay. Let's go and make some stupid thumbnail for this episode. So, folks, if you're on Discord, link coming in a few seconds. Have a good one. Bye, everyone. Thank you again, Rebecca.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, bye, bye.